This is FightFans Radio.
Hello and welcome to the second episode of 2013 BJJ Radio, brought to you by FightFans Radio, as you heard at the start. And big episode. This is our, our first ever returning guest to our show. So that I think is a huge thing, and it's none other than the man who Jer has an official crush on, Marcos Torregrosa.
Yes.
So, what's up, Matt?
Oh, just living life.
Living large?
Living, yes.
Yeah, living. So, last week we had a nice episode, talked about the roundup and then what's coming up. And tonight maybe we'll do the same with Marcos. And, he's got a lot going on for him. A lot has happened, obviously, since we spoke to him. So,
yeah,
it'll be good. And, everyone out there, please follow all our social medias. Everyone knows what all of them are. So when you're on those, just type in the FightFans Radio, BJJ Addict, or BJJ Addict Radio.
Or if you don't know, then listen to our previous episodes.
Yeah, we get them all shout out. And we're available on iTunes too. Go download it and rate us to help us become a more popular show. So it's important. Even if you hate us, put it down there so we get some star ratings.
Exactly.
Yeah, 2013. I want to take over.
Yeah.
I'm sick of being unknowns.
Big things coming up too for us.
I feel like we're the 3-6 Mafia of the BJJ radio world here.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And should we talk about next week? Perhaps we're having an upcoming giveaway.
Yes, we should. We will be teaming up with a company called
Raijin
Fightwear.
So
it's spelled Raijin Fightwear.
Yes. Are they from the UK?
I actually have no idea. I'm not really sure.
No, we'll check into that. So next week we'll have a question that we'll put out there, and then the right people could
the people that answer or
correctly
or
get something.
Or I guess
next week we'll tell you exactly what it is. So tune in next week also, so you could find out more about that. And
it's more than one prize, so
wow, even better. So yeah, exactly. There is their MMA and BJJ fightwear brand designed in partnership with a UK street artist, and that's pretty awesome. I don't know about you, but I'm actually a fan of street artists.
Yeah. So
guess what? That was my phone live on air going off. We're too popular right now. Fans of the show. Yeah, so going on, this weekend that passed, there's a huge event in Brazil, the Copa Podio, heavyweight GP, featuring some of the best around. The man, Rodolfo Vieira, tore it up. Yeah. Did you get to see any of it, my friend?
No, but I saw the highlights. Not the highlights, but the, play-by-play.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Yeah, Zanji looked strong.
Smart, apparently.
Yeah, he was smart against his fight with King Cornelius. I was rooting for him, of course. Everyone knows I'm a big fan of his. And, he held his own, at a tie and lost. But, he's a damn brown belt still. And I'm not making an excuse for him. I think he looked sharp still. So, but Rodolfo Vieira, holy shit, looked unreal on Sunday. Looked unreal.
We all know he's a monster, right? So.
Yeah, I don't watch him as much. I'm not a big fan of the bigger guys.
Yeah,
I'm not.
Me neither.
I don't know if it's because I'm small, but and I love like the modern jiu-jitsu, you could say a lot.
The fast jiu-jitsu.
But Rodolfo's game is just stupid good. I was blown away. I never really focused on him as much as other people, so when I watched it, I was impressed. And the super fight Leandro Lo was in, it was a barn burner, man. I don't know if you saw that or read a little bit about it, but there's a couple minutes left and he's down 2, and he scores points to tie, and there's 3 refs, right?
Mhm.
2 refs don't agree on the scoring, and 1 does. So they don't give him the points. He's still down 2 points, and what happens is he's grappling, and he's trying to win this damn fight. He's on top the whole time. And eventually, with like 30 seconds left, not even, he scores the pass. And it was a 3-point like pass to side control, and ends up winning by 1 point with like fucking 20 seconds left. It was amazing. Like, I'm sitting there. BJJ, I find, and I love the sport, but you kind of half the time it's like, oh, that was a cool little movements. You're not screaming at it sometimes like you would, say, a hockey game, or a football game when they're running down the field, maybe, But this got me jumping around a bit. So
I don't know about you, but I just noticed, like 2012, 2013, has hosted a lot of events like this, like the Ultimate Absolute, and all those Metamoris and all those. I think it's starting to become bigger compared to, like, I don't know, like 2011, where I didn't really hear about super fights. Did you?
I know what you're saying. I agree. Like, the BJJ Expo happened, Metamoris happened. I think people are also focusing on it a bit more, and caring. But yeah, I think it has taken off a bit more. And a lot of them, lately, the subs only is really taking off. This was not subs only, but it had 6-minute matches, which I don't know what you think of that, but I thought it was smart. It could change the game.
Yeah.
I was on Gracie Mag, the website, and it said, could you imagine if we had 6-minute matches? Every world champion since the start of time perhaps would be different. Because a 10-minute game in a gi is very difficult. I don't care who you are. If you got someone pressuring you, it's a hard game. But a 6-minute, anyone could go balls out, I think, for 6.
All scrambles.
Yeah, so I thought that was a really cool part of the show.
The submissions only is hard.
Yeah.
I remember me and you did it.
Actually, we did. We had a nice fun roll together, and I think it was like on 45 minutes, and we were just like, not getting anywhere too much. Hello?
Yeah, this K-Fab Radio.
Oh. How are you?
Yeah, this K-Fab Radio.
This is BJJ Addict Radio.
This is who?
BJJ Addict Radio. We are live on the air.
I'm looking for the wrestling show. This is wrestling?
God darn it, you want to talk wrestling? Let's talk wrestling then.
Okay. This is Oscar from Men on a Mission.
Oscar, let me tell you something. This is a radio show about BJJ, but tell me who your favorite wrestler is since I got you on the phone.
My favorite would have to have been me and my gang, Men on a Mission, 93 to 96.
Man on a Mission, 93 to 96, man. All right, other than yourself, can you name someone who inspired you?
Ric Flair, definitely.
Woo! The Nature Boy. Let me tell you a fun fact about Ric Flair, if you did not know. He had, knee pads, correct?
Yes.
He wore his knee pads below his kneecap because he had a calf complex. Did you know that?
Because he had a cat complex?
Correct. He did not like his calves. They were too small.
No, I did not know that.
You ever notice, though, he always wears them below his kneecaps?
Now that you mention it, yeah, I do.
Yeah. What did you like about the Nature Boy?
Well, first, he had one of the biggest... See, wrestling is not about skill per se. That's a part of it. But wrestling is more personality. And although I think that he was not the most skilled grappler in the ring, that's not what got him over. What got him over was his interviews, his persona, his personality, and that's what made me a fan.
You know what? I couldn't agree more. I actually wanted to be, a Rolex wearing, jet flying son of a gun,
But before, because here's the thing. Ric Flair wrestled. I'm 49 years old. I first saw Ric Flair when I was about 8 years old. And before he got into the limousine riding, jet flying, before he even got into the Four Horsemen, when he first got into the original NWA, the original wrestling out of Georgia and Florida, he had personality even then. He had the silver hair. I mean, he had the toned body, and he had that same woo, and he had that same strut, and he had that same everything else, just like an early Hulk Hogan. See, Hulk Hogan, another one who not a great wrestler per se, if you really are into the technicality of wrestling, but that's not what got him over. That was the say your prayers and eat your vitamins and the red and the yellow and the this and the that, and that's how these people get their followers. And it was Ric Flair was a progression. It was that, and then he went into the Four Horsemen, which was one of the greatest. You can't even call it a tag team, but one of the greatest cliques in the history of the sports and entertainment world. One of the greatest cliques because it was wrestling. It was Arn Anderson, Tully Blanchard. Then you had Ric Flair, Barry Windham, and I mean, they would all jump people and cheat and everything else. But, I mean, you had J.J. Dillon, the manager, and that just completed a whole unit. You don't have nothing like that today, and that's what sets them apart.
You know what? The golden era of wrestling has passed. I agree with you. But, I still, I'm a little bit younger, so obviously the NWO stable for me was probably one of my favorite wrestling angles ever to happen in the business.
Well, the reason why you like NWO so much is because NWO indirectly fashioned themselves after that group, the Four Horsemen, and that's how they conducted themselves, and that's how they did business in the ring. Now, you got people today like The Shield who would try to be something like that, but they never even come close.
I agree with you. Let me get your take since I got you on the phone, because anybody knows me. I'm the biggest Macho Man Randy Savage fan. I actually, at least once every couple of weeks, I go on YouTube and rewatch all my favorite promos he's ever cut. So, were you a fan of the Macho Man?
Okay, here's the thing. It's funny you should mention that. My best Macho Man promo was actually, and you can YouTube this, the one that I actually did with him, and it's called the Lex Express. It's a rap video with myself, my tag team, Mo and Mabel, Men on a Mission, and Macho Man Randy Savage doing a rap about Lex Luger when he's on a Lex Express. And if you ever read the history of how I got in the game, it was Macho Man Randy Savage who was with Vince McMahon at Caesar's Palace back in '93. I went up and did a freestyle rap for them. And what happened was I did the freestyle rap, and Macho Man and Vince told me to call them that Monday, and I called and I got my contract.
Nice. Listen, Man on the Mission, it was a good time for wrestling, I'll tell you that much. I really enjoyed the early 90s because it still wasn't exposed yet. And, I find wrestling today is not as enjoyable since there's the internet and all the news travels and people can't stay in character.
Yeah, I mean, it goes from one thing to the other. And that was one of the reasons that I'm doing interviews today. I was very, very, very disappointed with that Raw anniversary last night.
That's real talk.
Very. And the reason is that they showed a lot of clips. Now, I personally was taken aback that they didn't show my group or myself one time, but that's not even it. They didn't show Yokozuna last night. They didn't show the Head Shrinkers, the Smoking Guns, Bam Bam Bigelow, Lex Luger when he was in the red, white, and blue. Maybe I had to blink and missed Randy Savage last night, but I remember seeing him. And those are the people. These are the people that actually made Monday Night Raw. People that were there from the first Monday Night Raw from its inception to the reason why Monday Night Raw is still on 20 years later. And I felt like a lot of good people were slighted last night.
You know what? You just named everyone that would come to mind with anybody who grew up watching Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, when you think of Monday Night Raw, those are the characters you think of, and they didn't show none of them last night. And to me, one of the things I'm proud of the product today. I like it. I mean, it's entertaining. I watch as a fan. But the way these wrestlers today, they act like they invented the product. They act like They act like most rappers today. They act like there was never no forefathers or pioneers. They act like they was born into it, and if it wasn't for them, they would never be wrestling. And I don't like that.
You mean modern day rappers didn't invent the snapback?
No, modern day rappers didn't invent jack. There were people way before them. If it wasn't for them, they wouldn't have a job now.
You're preaching to the choir. My friend, unfortunately, to let you go, the radio show that you want to call into is Cage Side Live.
All right.
That's okay. If you want more info, I'm pretty sure you're supposed to be on their show. You got to go to FightFansRadio.com or email whoever you're talking to. I personally had a blast talking with you. We're live on the air. We're talking about wrestling. Trust me, man. It was great. I actually remember Man on a Mission. Huge 90s fan. I loved, the King of the Ring tournament that they used to have. Like, those were good times in wrestling.
All right, yeah. Thanks for having me, man.
No problem, man. Good luck with the future, and I'm sure we'll keep in touch.
All right, thanks.
Please.
I like wrestling.
Jared, when it comes to wrestling, listen, I'm not gonna let you get a word in, bro. I could host a wrestling show better than anyone.
That was quite entertaining, actually.
Let me tell you something right now. This guy was in the WWF, Man on a Mission. He's talking about this guy, Mabel, who's a monster, bro. He's huge. Everyone knows him as Miscreus now, or I think that's his name. He's like 7 feet tall, 400-pound dude. 1990 WWE, formerly WWF at the time. And, this dude was a black guy, and he had blonde facial hair. At first, he kept saying Man on a Mission. I was like, I don't know what he's talking about. But then I think, MOM, like Man on a Mission. This guy's a man, he's done the damn thing. So I'm sure he has some cool stories, but unfortunately we have to let him go because we are a BJJ show, and we're gonna call Marcos Torregrosa now and speak about BJJ. But man, I love talking wrestling.
How fun was that for you?
It was unreal. How many times you get to talk to a guy from wrestling, but I make him talk about other people, not himself. I felt bad. Probably doesn't want to answer now that we talked to.
Kind of nervous.
Well, let's just say he's getting a couple chances here. All right, that was not the first time that no one's answered to us, and probably won't be the last. So we'll have to try again very soon. Anyways, Jared, so I apologize for not letting you speak. Did you actually want to get in there and talk some wrestling?
I want to talk some smack.
Did you want to cut like a wrestling promo? We should have had the internet going on. No, but did you watch wrestling, first of all?
Well, when I was a kid, I did, yeah. I was like...
You rhymed unintentionally?
What did I say?
When I was a kid, I did.
Yeah. I used to watch, I think, when Hulk Hogan was like in his trademark yellow underwear and
yellow
bandana.
You call them underwear. That's like someone calling our kimono or gi pajamas.
Yeah, well, his tights, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How old were you?
I was like 6, 7.
So we're going back to another continent.
Asia.
I don't want to sound stupid, but like, you guys had American TV channels, I assume, then?
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty large.
But I think it was, I don't know how we had it, because it was like spoken in English. That's how I learned a little bit of English.
Because you walk around telling people, yeah, brother. That's all you knew how to say.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Oh, dude, that would be large. A little kid in the Philippines yelling brother all over the place, body slamming people, leg drops.
DDTs and all that.
Yeah, man. I love that. That's pretty awesome, though. I never knew that. That's a great...
little history.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I loved it, though. It was larger than life, you know? I thought it was real. Like, I'll tell you how stupid I was as a kid.
Yeah, I thought they were getting hurt, man. Like
the big boss man, he was a corrections officer. Yeah. And they'd do these promos of him, like, walking in the jail, like, correcting people. Like, how did he have time to wrestle 300 days a year? Or, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They had some guys that were, like, a NASCAR driver. And they'd show clips of him, like, racing in NASCAR. And, like, how is this possible?
I don't know.
A garbage man? Duke the Dumpster Drozu. That was his name.
Wow, we are so deep in this conversation of wrestling.
Now I'm getting lost. Let's get back to some BJJ, folks. Let's try Marcos once more. And if he doesn't answer, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to probably call that guy back up for Man on a Mission and turn this into the best wrestling radio show ever.
When people tag you on Facebook and start commenting when you're not even in a picture.
Fine.
Yeah.
This is criminal. Yeah. Maybe he thinks it's not that he should know. Horrible message if he... like, we're live on the air, folks. No one does this to us. No one makes me bleed my own blood. All right, moving on for now. We'll have to see what's going on. I'm not sure.
Maybe he ate Taco Bell and... no.
Speaking of Taco Bell, my friend, you had some... I don't even want to say the letters. I can't even say it.
KFC.
Oh, disgusting. And how was it?
It's good for now. Bad for later, maybe. But, you know, I'm not competing anytime soon, I don't think. Maybe. I don't know,
but you don't care right now?
I don't care. I'm letting myself go.
That's all good.
I have usually like a 5-pound give.
Bro, it's all good. You want KFC once in a while? It's okay. I can't do it, though. Okay, so before we came on the show, you know, we were having, like, little discussions on traveling and doing some Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and the two cities kept popping up, which was Sacramento, of course, because of... the man Marcos Torregrosa that's supposedly on the show tonight. And
San Diego.
A whale's
vagina.
Supposedly. That's what it is. But yeah, like, what compels you so much with San Diego? Is it the climate? Is it...
yeah, I was looking up Google Street View or Street... Is it Street View?
I'm not sure.
But the one you can click on the different streets. And man, I am telling you, the streets look phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like palm trees and ocean.
Yeah, how can you be mad with ocean and palm trees?
It's like pizza. You can never eat pizza mad, you know? Like you can never go to San Diego and be mad.
Is that the saying? You can never eat pizza mad?
Yeah. Have you ever eaten a pizza mad?
Yeah, not really, man.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so San Diego, where are some spots that you would train down there?
Honestly, I want to go down to the Atos team.
Okay.
Train with them for a bit.
So Andre
Galvao.
We were watching some online of his that he has out there, his online curriculum, and we saw Sweep De La Hiva sweep. What did you think? What do you think of his site?
I liked it.
Yeah.
Very, he talks a lot of detail on everything he's doing, so.
Yeah. Too much? Not enough? What do you thought?
You know, it depends on, like, there's different learners. One, I don't know, like... One that'll see it and do it, and one that really needs to know what's happening. I'm one of those. I want to see it and then do it kind of people. I don't like to sit around and theorize about one move.
Yeah.
Although I think that's a white belt of me to do, but you know
what? Me, it's funny. I want to do the same thing. I want to see it, practice it, do it. And then later on, for some reason, I'll be like, why the fuck am I doing this? Or what do I have to do to get better? Or why am I how do I pass after I sweep?
Yeah.
It's weird, but not right away. It's too much for me to take in.
See, this is my learning. This is the way I learn, is that I do it, make the mistakes that I need to make.
Yeah.
And then once you're familiar with the move, you're like, oh, okay, well, let's theorize. I'm like, do it kind of guy, and then think later.
That's nice.
Shoot. Well, what's the phrase? Shoot now, ask questions later.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, I'm one of those guys.
Shoot now, ask questions later. There's a couple things also down there. Is I believe the man who we got to get on here, the boogeyman, Dean Lister, is down in San Diego. Jeff Glover just recently moved to San Diego, I believe.
Yeah, I saw that on
Yeah, so San Diego's a hot spot.
Yeah.
It's a hotbed for jiu-jitsu. Do you know at one point there was only...
Oh, and what's his name? Another person, Saulo Ribeiro.
Yeah.
University.
Yeah. Do you think it'd be... Well, out of all that, let's just say the ones we just named, like between Dean Lister, Saulo Ribeiro, and Andre, who's your number one choice at all that?
Honestly, I'd love to go to Galvao's school. I wanted to go there since I was a white belt. Same with Saulo Ribeiro's team. Like, depends on where can you learn the most.
Yeah,
that's what I look for. Like, I don't care if you're a world champion. Like, where can I learn? And they're all world champions, so I don't know. It's a matter of picking. How about you?
Out of all those, Dean Lister, believe it or not, that's my number one choice. So, yeah, Dean Lister. I mean, I don't know why. He's a fan. I'm a fan of his. I mean, sorry. Can you talk for 1 second?
Yeah, sure. What were we talking about?
Dean Lister.
Dean Lister. Isn't he doing it with Jeff Glover or something? They're on the same team?
If I don't know if they're on the same team. If that's where he is teaching at the moment, then whoever's in that location, that's pretty lucky. I mean, if you're just hanging out there already training and then Jeff Glover shows up, that's ridiculous. Erica on the other side wrote you a message. Please look at it. I can't write on the main one. For those that are listening live, I apologize. I'm talking to the person behind the scenes. All right, so let's give it one more try. Supposedly Marcos Torregrosa is waiting for us to call.
It's always nerve-wracking listening to the radio because you never know if they're going to answer.
You never know. Criminal!
What's up, fellas? What's going on?
Nothing, man. What is up?
I have no clue. You guys are sending right now on Twitter that you were calling me. I was like, yeah, dude, I'm waiting. I'm hanging out here right by the phone.
Our third try, so third time's the charm.
I blame our bad...
third time's the charm. There you go.
Nice.
What's happening, guys? What's going down?
Not much. How was your day so far?
Man, pretty good. Pretty good. Productive. Went to the gym this morning. Back on the grind, getting ready for the 2013 season. And feeling good, man. Feeling good. The body's back. Is back where it needs to be. The mind is prepped, ready for a whole new season. Can't wait to get out there. The rankings just came out this weekend, so I'm real hyped up. A lot of the guys are real hyped up, and we're coming into this new season with a big fire under us.
What is your rankings?
There was a IBJJF rankings.com that just came out this week, and kind of like what the IBJJF had done previous with the Pro League, but this one they came out with like all the different age groups and different belt rankings and stuff like that. So I came out 7th in the world in both gi and no gi, both categories.
Unreal.
How long has this ranking thing been around for?
This new one is just recent. I think it just came out this last week. I'm glad they finally did it, though. It was about time the IBJJF got their stuff together and started putting out official rankings. It's good for people to see that. It's good for you also as an individual, as a competitor, to have that recognition. It's really good to have that stuff. So it's pretty new, but I'm really glad they put it out there.
Yeah, I did check some of it, and they haven't thought of taking the people out of that belt ranking if they've already moved on. So like somebody dominating purple belt might be like a brown or black belt now. They have them ranked as number one.
I saw that. I was looking at a number of our guys, a number of our competitors, one in particular, Rich Botham, that had moved up from blue to purple, and some of his points were mixed. So I'm not sure how they're allocating that stuff or how they're going about dividing it, but I know that these are kinks that will eventually get worked out, you know. I'm just real happy that on one site you can get all the results from all the tournaments and also rankings, which is not something that you can currently get from the IBJJF website. So I'm very happy about that.
Yeah, I agree. I'm sure they'll work the kinks out. It's great for athletes and fans of the sport to be able to see. One thing about the site I wish they did, and if anyone's listening that's involved, is I wish they showed the tournaments you did all season, regardless of placing or not.
Yeah, I mean, overall participation, they have competitors lists. I don't know if you've taken a look at the individual rankings and stuff like that, and per individual. So they'll tell you per individual what you've done over the last couple of years, and then you could look up the actual event itself, and they could give you a whole competitors list. Okay. So they'll give you a competitors list, and next to that is the results list. Okay. So I like that. I think it's pretty complete, you know. It's a pretty complete way of going about presenting that information.
That's well put. Since the last time you've been on our show, you became a world champion. So, how ridiculous?
Nogi, 2012 Nogi world champion. It's 2013 right now. So I'm starting from scratch, fellas, just like everybody else. I'm coming into this new season hungry. I want it again.
But let's just recap on this amazing moment. Not only that, you had one of the best matches that I watched, period, in the Masters and Seniors world, which was in a gi in the finals against a legend of the sport in a return for Shaolin, Ribeiro. Just can you touch on those two subjects?
Man, look, Salo's a legend. He's a legend in the sport, and I thrive off of getting on the mats with really good guys, right? Like, I really look forward to these challenges. So some people, where they get a little daunted, I feel like I step up to the plate, you know? And I went out there, man, and I gave him my best shot. You know, I played my game plan to a T. I pulled to my open guard. I knew that this was one of my strongest tools. I got my grips, and I was yanking, you know, left and right, and I was trying to open up opportunities. Man, he's extremely skilled. You could tell that he was not like any of the other competitors there. And no disrespect to anybody else. I could just tell the years of experience that he had and the way he was basing himself. You know, he's very calm, very collected, and he was kind of hustling for his jockeying for his grips and pummeling inside, trying to get past my legs. With all honesty, I would have loved to take him that to a 10-minute round. I felt that 6 minutes at the Masters Seniors is really difficult. You know, if anything, if they want to diminish the time at all, make it 8 or something like that. That's okay. But I like, you know, 10-minute rounds. So 6 minutes, it cuts it down drastically. You know, so I feel like just when we're starting to get our rhythm, our pace, you know, both him and I felt that the time was up. So I don't think it gave. It didn't give us both as competitors due diligence. We weren't able to really flesh out our games. But again, an honor to be able to compete against such an incredible competitor, and in the finals of the very first Manual Seniors Worlds here in California, in our backyard, basically in our backyard. So I'm very honored to be a part of that. You know, the very first Puerto Rican to be at that level. You know, the black belts and the finals and stuff like that. I'm very, very proud of being, you know, and being in that spot. Very happy.
Yeah, I was yelling my ass off at the computer, man. It was a good match.
Yeah, it was solid, man. It was a really good match, man. It was very very technical. You know, I'm looking forward to maybe going out there, taking a trip. I want to go see him, and I want to go see Marcelo Garcia out there on the East Coast, man. I think that's like an ideal trip for me, man. I want to go out there, and that's top of my list. I'd really like to do something like that.
Can you describe the feeling that you felt when you won the Worlds?
Nogi Worlds, man. You know what? I always fought so hard to win the Gi Worlds that the Nogi Worlds. I mean, it wasn't really a big thing for me. You know, I liked it. It was a fantastic feeling. The title was fantastic. You know, to be crowned world champion is an incredible accomplishment and a feat upon itself. But man, it's the gi one, man. Like, my true passion is in the gi. I love both forms, but my true passion was in the gi. So I was left like not really realizing what I really wanted, which was that that gi world championship. And like I said, it's 2013 now. That was last year. I have a whole new set of goals right now. I want top 3 in that worldwide ranking. And man, I'm dedicated. I'm motivated. You guys have no idea. There's a major fire burning under us here in Sacramento. I know when you guys was going to come out and come check us out, right? Come visit over here for a little bit.
That would be me.
Yes, you're about to see some amazing things on the mat. You should come see us.
Yeah.
Like I said, we're motivated. This new year is going to be incredible. I have a lot of really good, talented guys out there too that are going to make their stamp this season as well. So,
what
to start, fellas?
What happened, Marcos, that made 2012 such a breakout year for yourself and your team? This is something you've been doing for a long time, and if you're telling me that 2013 is going to be even bigger, what went on that just made everything start to fall in place?
Man, there's a couple different things. I'd like to separate both myself individually and that of the team. I think they are mixed in a sense, but I've always been pretty active. I went through a period of time where I was a little inactive, and that was because of a failing marriage, unfortunately. So that kind of messed with my mind frame a little bit. And when I came out of that, I was looking for things that made me happy again, and that was always competing. Competing always made me happy. And then I went back. I read a book called Mind Power. Incredibly powerful piece of literature. If you guys ever get a chance to put your hands on that book, it's incredibly powerful. I read it 6 times last year alone, just because of the way it changed a lot of my mental processes, and the way I was going about teaching and presenting the information to the students. And obviously I started to become a little bit more productive myself individually, so the students really feed off of that. Everybody feeds off of that. They see me producing, and everybody's maybe they're a little reluctant to compete, but then they see me competing, like, yeah, I want to do it too. I want to get some medals too. And then it's like a virus. It kind of spreads, and a good virus, right? A good virus that spreads, and everybody all of a sudden is on this medal hunt. We have a really good group of medal hunters out there. But for me personally, it was kind of trying to break out of this rut, this depression that I was in about the whole dissolution of my marriage, and when I was able to finally get my head together and get the pieces together and start competing again, and really going after it, going after it hard, believing that I was a world champion and trying to exact that, that's when things changed, and everybody followed suit. Everybody loved it, and now we just can't stop. Now we're really organized, Now on top of everything else, you have desire, motivation, and organization. So now we're going out there and employing all the tactics, both mental and physical, and going out there and going to war.
I'm going to try to emulate that in my jiu-jitsu. We got a couple questions here from
that book, man. I'm telling you, pick up that book. It's called Mind Power. I don't have the name of the author right offhand. It's such a powerful piece of literature. It sounds a little kooky at first, but man, it's I don't know if you guys are into that type of stuff, but it's a very powerful book.
Mind Power.
Definitely. I'm into kooky books.
There you
go. We got a couple questions here from Roy Dean.
It's by John Kehoe.
Okay, from Roy Dean?
No, but I'm just saying the book is by John Kehoe.
Okay, John Kehoe. Yeah, that's the guy. Exactly. Perfect. That is exactly the author.
Right.
I highly recommend it.
All right, so we're back to Mr. Roy Dean.
Okay, Mr. Roy Dean. All right.
Let's do this. All right. One of the questions he asks is, how do you structure your technical training heading into a competition?
Technical, look, I just recently I had asked of my competition team and myself, I don't ask of them anything that I don't do myself, for schedules. And the schedule is going to be a 6-month schedule with the ultimate goal being that of a world champion, right? And everything they're going to do along the way, because everything in essence is just a step on the way to the greater goal, which is the world championship. So in the schedule, some of the students, they provided nutritional information as well, which I didn't demand, but if you'd like to do that, I think that's good too. But I demanded what types of things of their game plans they were going to be working on. Okay, and this is something I do for myself. So it is an identification of the sharper tools, right? The sharper knives, so to speak, and then really going out there and repping the bejesus out of them and working a lot of the transitions and a lot of the drilling, all that stuff that I brought back with me from TLI. So I really believe heavily in doing a lot of this work, not just putting in rounds, putting a lot of that technical work and breaking down the positions. And I have created numerical values for a lot of the moves. So that way, when I'm on the sidelines or I myself and I'm breaking down moves, I don't need to tell people, hey, guys, put your hand over here, put your hand over there, put your foot over here, pull or yank over here. I just tell them, like, for instance, bear trapping number 1, and they know exactly where they need to be. They've drilled it a million times, and it's very efficient. So how do we work our technical prowess going into competitions is just tons of reps, man. Hitting the drilling hard and working specific positions and working the bejesus out of them. Let me give you guys an example. Like this week, we're working De La Hiva at the school, right? So I taught the basic entry yesterday to a De La Hiva, the double sleeve grip, De La Hiva, both legs are straight. You're immobilizing the opponent and sitting up, right? So then we worked specific drilling, which was 2-minute drilling. One person on top, one person on the bottom. The only objective for the person on the top was to get away, and the objective for the person on the bottom was to finish the De La Hiva. So the De La Hiva was already open; it was already entered, and then the objective was to get out. So we do a lot of really specific positions like this, where one person is obviously they have a huge advantage in the way they've entered in, right? And all it takes is basically them finishing, and the other person or the person on the top has to work actual defenses. So we do a lot of specific workouts like this.
That's unreal. I freaking love the De La Hiva so much.
Oh man, when you guys come down, I have some great tricks for you. Some great tricks for you. You're gonna love this.
Question number 2 by Mr. Roydeen is, what mental preparations or visualizations do you use the night before or immediately before competitions?
I review my game plan almost immediately before. I do it heavily throughout my training sessions, right? Always before my training sessions, I have it on my iPhone, and I also have it here at the house, so I review it. So I always have it in my head, and then I try to enact it when I'm training, so that way I'm able to really pull from my mental processes very easily. So because you have to have in the Mind Power book, you guys are going to read this here too as well. You have to believe, first off, that you're going to be a champion, right? You have to believe it. If you don't believe it, if you walk in there saying, I'm just going to, like Kicks and Gracie said, flow with the go. I'm just going to kind of just, ride the wave. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And with all honesty, I go into tournaments not wanting just to see how I'm going to fare. I go in there believing that I'm a champion, and I'm just going to collect my medal. Okay, it might sound a little pompous or a little egotistical, but you really have to believe it if you want to create the reality, right? I really believe this. So this is what I do, and a lot of this is mental prepping. It's not just the day before; it happens months before. Champions are made months before the competitions, right? Like I think one of the big events that I'm going to be doing here, at least locally, is going to be the San Francisco Open. I might be going previously to Houston, but that's kind of in the air. That's depending on some sponsorships. So I'm focusing, like the mind power work is happening, now, right? When I came back from Puerto Rico, now, like right now, just prepping the mind now. So that way, by the time tournament comes around, there's no last minute work. I don't have to procrastinate to get, my mind in gear. It's already done. So the night before, I try to sleep well. I don't look at any footage the night before. I don't want to get nervous. I don't want to build myself up. And then, if I watch footage, I have a tendency of staying up and looking at the ceiling, and wishing why the hell I did that, going through game plans in my head, and I never sleep that way. So I got to stay away from all footage, like after 11:30, so that way by 12 o'clock I can go to bed and get a good night's sleep. That's it, man. And then when I go there the next day, I really don't talk much to people. I don't, I don't socialize a lot. I go there and I go for business. So I'm very focused on that stuff.
How do you de-stress after like a really big tournament?
I'm sorry, how do I what?
How do you de-stress after competing at such large tournaments?
How do you de-stress?
Yeah, like how do you calm down after?
Man, it might sound really simple, but I like to spend the day with my son. Like, I just like to kind of fall off the grid, like the social grid. Like, I really don't answer emails or get on Facebook or anything like that. And I'm very fortunate that usually I'm fighting on weekends that I don't have my son. So when I get him on Monday, I spend all day with him, and I spoil him rotten. And this is something that makes me really happy, So whether it be going to swim or just playing around with him, it's such a good alleviator for my stress, and it also gives me motivation to get back at it. Like, I don't like to spend a lot of time away from the gym, so I'll probably take that Monday morning off training, spend all day with Junior, eat a bunch of things I shouldn't be eating, and then Monday night back at the training and getting ready for the next objective.
Nice. Do you do all your training at your own academy, like 99% of it, you'd say? Or?
Yeah, about 99% of it. I was really fortunate coming up to a couple of these last events to go and train with Caltera. I was able to go out there with Caltera and Keishinho, who's a guy that I've competed against a number of times, and he's an excellent competitor, excellent training partner, a guy about my weight, and we know each other very well. We have a very good relationship. So I go out there with Samir and Caltera and Keishinho and Fabio Meyer, and I go train with these guys. And I did that, I'd say, before these events, I'd say like 4 or 5 times. So of the last like 5 or 6 months, I went out there 4 or 5 times, probably, an average about once a month. But that would mean that like 99% of my training happens right here in Sacramento, California. So I'm very fortunate. Again, I have a really good group of guys, and I break down a lot of these scenarios to some. I break down a lot of really good scenarios to train from. So they get better, I get better, everybody benefits, and I get a lot of that. I get some of that fine tuning that I need to have for black belt levels when I go train with Kyle and those guys too. It's really hard to make it out to the East Coast to train at TLI a lot. So. I'm very fortunate these guys are not too far away.
So with that being said, what I'm trying to get at actually is, do you think it's kind of, garbage excuse for people not to compete at a high level with the gym they got? Do you think it's just them, or do you think that you could actually get elite just by going somewhere? Like, not everyone that goes to a TLI or goes to an alliance becomes a superstar instantly. You're at a very high level, and you do that with your own gym and all your students. You can't get that much higher than the level you're at, really. So do you think it's a garbage excuse for people that say, oh, if I was over here, I'd be this, or?
Look, I think it depends on the environment. You have to walk with people of like mind. And if in their environment, it is plausible that in their environment, they just don't have people of like mind. They don't have people that are getting after it. I just feel very fortunate that I have a really, really good group of guys that are rec guys, and then they're good as it is, and then on top of it all, I have a competition team that gets after it. Right? They get after it, and they work really hard. So, man, I have some I have some really good guys, dude. I have a juvenile kid that his name is Richard Wong. Man, this kid he's ranked 3rd. He was ranked 3rd in the world as a blue belt. And this kid's a beast. He's a monster. Like, he gives a lot of hard times, not just to the other guys, but to me sometimes. So I have a really good group of guys. Now, if you have a person, you have to kind of define the variables, and the specifics here by which we're talking about. If we're talking about a guy that has nothing but white belt students and he's not doing it for X or Y, that can be tough, But I have blues and purples, and I have a really good black belt, a guy that I promoted to black belt here too recently, Elliot Kelly, that trains with me. Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, and this kid's really, really good. If you guys don't know who he is, I mean, he won as a brown belt, Nogi Pan Ams, Nogi Worlds, and he medaled at all the big IBJJF events. Man, it helps to have these people around you. You know, obviously, I don't have a multitude of black belts under one roof, unfortunately, but I think that we're creating an incredible environment for those people coming up in it, you know. So, you know, it can be a bit of an excuse. They could be just bullshitting. They could be just complaining. Yeah, you know, I can't do it because, you know, deep down in my subconscious, I really don't want to do it. I don't want to put in the work. That's a big possibility.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, really big possibility. I'd say that encompasses the majority of the populace. But there are a select few that can't for X or Y. And, you know, but I think those are more the exception rather than the rule, if that answers your question.
It definitely does. Did you watch the Copa Podio that passed by this weekend?
Man, I didn't get to see it all. I was trying to find a way to go watch it somewhere. I want the team to get together, right? I can always watch it here at the house, right? But when I solicit online, I'm trying to get these guys together is because I want the whole team to get together and get into some shenanigans, right, and talk about events and things like that. So I couldn't get anybody to see it. And last minute, I ended up seeing it here at the house, and I got to see some of the footage that just came out recently, man. And, man, what can you say? Rodolfo Vieira is an absolute monster. The guy's a beast, dude. He's a monster.
He ran through that tournament.
Yeah, he did. He really, I don't think he stopped. I don't think he got tired. I think he just went out there and beasted everybody. He beast moded everybody. It was crazy. I'll tell you one thing, though. I really liked the match with Shanji.
Yeah.
I really liked the match with Shanji. He was all over Shanji initially, and Shanji right there towards the end turned it around and got on top. I think that could have been very bad for Vieira. That could have been very bad for Vieira if that was a 10-minute round. That was the only time I saw him, you know, like, you know, not as comfortable as he'd like to be. Let's put it like that.
Yeah, definitely. It's funny that you brought up the 6 and 10-minute rounds because before you came on, we were talking about it, but exact opposite of what you said. I kind of enjoyed the podio because of the 6-minute matches, especially with the gi on. And it's funny that you said the opposite. And it, you know, come to think about it, with the extra 4 minutes, yeah, Jean could have had a better chance at beating Rodolfo. But I still enjoyed the 6-minute rounds personally.
Yeah, no, like it speeds up the tournament. That's for sure. It really does speed up the tournament. You know, you're cutting the match times in half almost, and the guys got to get after it, right? They really got to get after it. So this really does push a good pace. So, I mean, I think they're both good for what they're worth. You know, it's just kind of like it's almost like the dispute of gi and no gi. Which one's better? Well, man, I mean, they both have their pros and their cons, just like the 6-minute match and a 10-minute match. A 6-minute match, obviously, you're going to see a lot more action than you would in a 10-minute match. But I don't know, man. I don't know. Adolfo Vieira, he keeps a really good pace the whole time. I mean, if you had like, say, a Buchecha in that match, I don't think Buchecha would have slowed down at all. You know, I think it's just relative to the player. It could be just relative to the player.
Speaking of cardio and all that, how important is it to work on your strength and conditioning and stuff like that in your own training?
You know what? This last season that I had from August to Nogi Worlds, I did Las Vegas Open. I started there and I went to Nogi Worlds. I had a kind of a revolutionary type of camp because it was the first time that I modified considerably my strength and conditioning. The very first time. You know, I do weightlifting. I usually do like an 8-9 week taper, but I couldn't taper for this because I knew this was going to be a long season. You guys know what a taper is? A taper is you have to designate a certain amount of time to a training regimen. So that when you peak, you're at your physical peak at a certain time. And I couldn't taper like I normally do because it was like a 4-month season, right? So I backed off on it a little bit. I just did some basic strength and conditioning things, nothing too heavy. By heavy, I don't mean literally like heavy like weights. I mean like nothing too extraneous. because I was doing a lot of jiu-jitsu work. It was more jiu-jitsu work than it was ever before. I was drilling a lot more, and I was doing a lot of rounds of specific training, things like that. So, strength and conditioning I think is imperative. But what I think is most important is assessing realistically what your goals are and what it's going to take for you to get to your goals, and spreading that out over the time that's necessary. Look at Shanji. Let me give you an example. Look at Shanji. How the hell is Shanji competing at this level, having the performances that he's having over such a long period of time, right?
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, dude, he has been competing nonstop. Well, I'll tell you one thing. I was devastated. My body was hurting after Nogi Worlds. I was going to do the fall open. I decided not to. My hand was killing me. My lower back. I had, I was thrashed to my neck. I still trained, obviously, but not same intensity. And Shanji did not stop this whole season at all. That guy is a monster. He's a beast. And, it could be, attributed to many things. I think he's just training smart, and he's eating really well. From what I understand, he's eating really well. He's one of the few guys at that level that I believe is not steroiding.
Yeah, he's just genetically a mutant.
Yeah, I mean, he could be, or he could just be very smart in the way he's doing it, man. He could just be very smart in the way he's doing it.
Yeah,
I would love to sit down and pick that guy's brain, man. Love to sit down and pick his brain.
I think what's been instrumental, though, in his career that a lot of people don't have is a big brother like Saul Ribeiro. So,
yeah, that's gonna help, right? That's gonna help. When you get a big brother like Saul beating the crap out of you all these years, that has to help, right? Yeah. But something tells me that Shanji is getting the better of that end of the stick right now.
Yeah, no shit. It didn't look like he was good at personally. I didn't think he was going to become a larger name than his brother, but he's done very well for himself.
Look, Saulo, with all due respect to Saulo, he is a monster. He's won the world championship at many different weights. But with all honesty, Shanji for me takes the cake. I think Shanji, in my personal opinion, a lot of people might call foul. They might hate me for this, but I think he's better than Roger Gracie. I think he's just been more consistent. I mean, if Roger had stayed with jiu-jitsu and kept competing, who knows? Maybe things would be different. But Roger he's a three-time absolute champion, but he stopped. After that, he stopped. And look at everything Shanji's done since then. So for me, Shanji might be in my opinion, he's probably one of the best of all time.
I love it. I think sometimes he gets overlooked in that argument a lot of times.
Now you guys are shining me on.
That soundbite and play it to everybody and cause some crazy uproar. I like that, though. He's better than Roger Gracie. Speaking of Roger, what did you think of his performance in his very difficult arm triangle that he had to nail?
I think it was too easy for him, man. Come on, you guys know what's going on. They're throwing some tomato cans at him and Jacare. They threw some tomato cans the direction to get them prepped for the UFC contracts. They wanted to make them look good, so that way they transferred over. Again, no offense to their opponents, but man, we're talking about Jacare and Roger Gracie, some of the best jiu-jitsu guys to ever grace the mats, and obviously their MMA has gotten a lot better too. So, they just threw them some tomato cans to just prep them for these new contracts. That's it.
You're stirring a lot of stuff going on right now. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, plead the fifth.
Yeah, I'm not going to call foul on your MMA comments or your BJJ comments. I enjoy what you're saying right now. What are
talk to me.
Before we get on to your 2013 season, I want to know. I've been asking everyone who will have the biggest breakout or who will have the most dominant season in 2013 for BJJ grappling.
For BJJ,
who's going to have the biggest year? You can name a couple if you want.
Buchecha and Rodolfo Vera. I don't think Farias is. I think Farias is Bernardo Faria from Alliance. He's an excellent practitioner, but I don't think he's ever going to beat Rodolfo Vera. And I think Buchecha is easily and by far the most dangerous of all of them, and that he could probably submit any of them on any given day. So he is, I wouldn't call him a dark horse. He is the man. He's the absolute champion right now. But I don't know if I think Rodolfo was too much on beast mode at Copa Bojo, and if he comes with that same beast mode on at Pan Ams and at Worlds, I think Buchecha is going to have some work cut out for him. Again, Buchecha can submit anybody on any one of those given days. So I think it's going to be Buchecha, Rodolfo Vera, hands down. Both those guys are going to be the guys to watch. They're both favorites, not one over the other. I wouldn't say one over the other. I think that those guys are one for one. I'm really looking forward to seeing them fight again.
I like what you're saying. I just want to know, like, I personally respect the guys that go and hustle at all the IBJJF Opens, and they still go to some of the smaller tournaments and dominate. And I think a lot of these guys, I'm not taking anything away, they do the major 3 or 4, and that's all they have to do that year. But I think DJ Jackson's going to kill this year. He showed it coming towards the end of 2012. And I think the fact that he goes out and smashes the trials still, and he did a lot of the IBJJF Opens. I respect those dudes a lot more. I'm not just DJ, but anyone that goes out, Calterra, and does all the other ones other than the Worlds and the Pans and whatnot.
Yeah, no, don't get me wrong. Look, I'm talking about absolute champion. When I define those, I'm definitely talking about absolute champion. These guys are in the running for an absolute title. But we're talking about, like, overall. I mean, in the rankings, the top-rated guy was Calterra, and there's a reason why. It's because he does all the small tournaments, and he's doing all the absolutes. He's a small guy, and he's doing all the absolutes, and he's winning. On top of doing them, he's winning. So you have guys like Kyle, and you have guys like DJ. DJ just came into the black belt, and he beat Lucas Lepre, and he did a Cyborg, and he's just a beast. He's a monster. He came up into the division. I trained with the guy personally. He's an absolute monster to get off on top of you, and he's only going to get better. He's young, and he's only getting better. You have a JT out of that camp too, who at the lightweight, I'm sorry, I'm gonna say it again. I feel he won at Nogi Worlds. I've looked at the footage meticulously. I've scrutinized it. I've looked at it objectively, not from a bias, and I see that he won it. I think that he's going to come into this new season at Pena as being a real serious threat to any Pena guys out there. So that's another guy to look for. You guys have obviously Lucas Lepre, who's a monster at all these weights. Leo Lowe is unstoppable right now. He's doing divisions, and he's winning a lot of his absolutes here too. He's always in the running. He just doesn't stop. Leo Lowe is another guy who doesn't stop. I trained with him here in Sacramento. He came to a seminar, and he's the only guy to pass my guard like that 3 times in a row. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, he's also already started his year off with a bang with the one of the most amazing matches from Sunday I've ever seen. So.
From recent memory. That one with the Torregrosa that he had just now was one of the best matches I've seen in recent memory.
Yeah.
Really good. I just don't think Leo Lowe can be stopped right now, man, at anyone near that weight.
Yeah.
He's just too much.
That's what I meant by me personally. I think the fact that those guys will be on everyone's lips and talking about it every single passing weekend. Oh, did you see him at this Open? To me, I think that makes them, I think that's a great season. If you're killing it every single week and not just coming out for the big tournaments, that shows a real commitment and hustle. I think is mind blowing.
Oh yeah, most definitely. And this is one of the reasons why I do all the Opens is that it gets your timing down, it gets you ready for the bigger events, and it keeps you consistent, it keeps you on your grind. And man, there's a lot of tournaments that Leo Lowe has won that don't get the press that the bigger events have, like say with Gracie Mag or some other media outlet, because of that second confederation that they have over there in Brazil, right? The CBJJE or CBJJO or something like that. So there's a lot of activity over there. There's a world championship that they have over there. There's a Pan Ams that Leo Lowe did over there. There's a ton of things that Leo Lowe is doing out there that really doesn't get a lot of press over here, but just makes him that much more of a beast, So to see him hitting all those events, it doesn't really matter what it is. He's doing it all. is really powerful. Man, he did the Copa Pocho lightweight and he did the Copa Pocho middleweight, and he was champion at both.
Yeah, he's phenomenal.
Yeah, it's incredible. Incredible.
Live on the air, you did it last time you were on, and you know, you actually nailed a lot of your goals you put out. So what are some of your goals that you made already that you're going to accomplish?
I want to win more absolute titles, and I want to win an IBJJF team title. And mark my words right now, that team title is going to come to me in San Francisco. It's going to come to me. It's going to come to Yemaso BJJ. All the guys that are putting in the work right now are going to bring a team title home from an IBJJF event, and that's something that in Sacramento has yet to be done. So I'm really on my grind for this. Me personally, one of my biggest things is the Pan Ams. I have really bad luck when it comes to Pan Ams. I've gotten injured in the past. I've broken ribs. I broke a foot. I've been sick. For some reason, it's just always Pan Ams, or the time around Pan Ams, I'm always getting faded. So Pan Ams is a really important one for me. I really want that medal, that gold medal in the division and the absolute amongst the medals that I have currently. That's one of the ones that's gotten away from me, and I'm not going to let it get away from me again this year. So that's going to happen this year. And again, man, on the grind, just doing this, doing everything. I want to be like like Walelo is out there. I want to do that same thing. I want to be in everything. Always have my hand in the mix. Every time a competitor looks at the lightweight, they're going to be like, damn, this guy again. Damn, doesn't he just stay home and take a break? Negative. Criminal, just taking him away.
I respect that for sure. On next week's episode, we have a leg lock specialist, Brandon Quick. With that being said, I'm asking you, the leg lock game has just kind of, it's always been there since day one, but I feel like I've never seen such a importance to know the leg lock game lately, especially in no-gi the last couple of years. What's your take on that? How often do you train it, and do you believe that it is super efficient to attack the bottom half of the body?
Man, they are imperative. The success of guys at Chetmat is based, I wouldn't say solely, but there's a huge portion of the success comes from the waist down attacks, the knee bars, toe holds, and things like that. They have become a lot more prevalent in the recent years because of the introduction of the no-gi tournaments, right? The no-gi worlds. I don't know if this is like the 4th or 5th edition of the no-gi worlds. It hasn't been many no-gi awards that we've had, but with the introduction of no-gi IBJJF events, a lot of people are going back to the feet. So, or they're sitting back to the feet, I should say. And you have guys like Chetmat. Look at Hajar Gracie and Buchecha. Buchecha almost took his foot off. Buchecha's always attacking the leg. You have Kavaka. Kavaka, who's going to be fighting the Europeans, I think it is next week. He is a monster attacking the feet too, A lot of those checkmat guys, they get a lot of success. I think Kavaka, when he won the Worlds, I think he collectively fought less than 10 minutes because he was just dropping these 50-50 positions and bam, just left and right, bam, just attacking the feet left and right. So me personally, I've always worked toe holds and knee bars. I love this stuff. I love it. I have a lot more success in my game with toe holds than I do knee bars. Knee bar attacks usually turn into 50-50 entries for me. But the toe holds, man, I love the toe holds. I use it all the time. Time. Now, I don't know how people like Caltera and the Mendes guys and Cobain, I don't know how they get the foot yanked on. They don't tap because, I don't know. I don't like being on the other end of that toe hold.
Rubber feet for sure.
Dude, I don't know how they do it, man, because people start yanking on my feet, man. I had a really good training partner back in the days. He was a purple belt. Tyrone Glover was his name. And for those that are not familiar, he was like a West Coast Destructicon, right? We used to call him a Destructicon. This guy was a beast. So he'd have toe holds, and way back in those days, we'd be ripping people up with toe holds, man. That was the specialty of the kitchen. Yeah.
That's crazy. For someone first getting into the foot game, what do you think's most important? Would it be a concept of it, entries, escapes, or the basics? What do you think someone should start?
Man, look, this is not something that's just for feet. This is for every submission. I think first you have to identify what is the submission? What is it doing? Right? What is it isolating? What is it hurting? Right? And then you move out from there. And so then you talk about basic application. Okay, this is basic application of the position. And then you move out from there. You move farther back out from there. Like it's almost like you're looking at a person, you get like a farther out. You're moving farther out with the camera. You look farther out from there. Okay, what position is this from? How do you acquire it? What position is this from? Okay, then you look at getting to that position. All right, how do I get to this position consistently to be able to acquire this submission? Right, and then you look at then ultimately, and this is one of the last things here, is you look at the positional attacking defense. So in attacking this particular position, what are his defenses? How are they weighed out with your positional prowess and your positional superiority? How are they weighed with that? And then what are potential deficiencies, right? The pros and cons per position. So you look at identification first. What is it hurting? You move back out, and then you look at positioning. Then you look at how to acquire the position. Then you look at defense and positional superiority from each position. And I do this not just with leg locks, but with everything that I teach.
I'm telling you right now, with those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there's like 6 amazing points there. I think we need a new Marcos Torregrosa instructional and explain what you just did for the positions that you do. And I think that would sell like hotcakes, which are pancakes in Canada. So I'm going to say I think it would sell like pancakes.
Yeah, man, look, I'd love to sit down and do an instructional. I had done a number of them with iFight Video. Man, the Apple has become increasingly difficult to work with. If anybody out there listening is interested in doing some filming or something like that with me here too as well, let me know. I'm down to sit down and talk about this stuff. Again, it's real simple, you know. I have a theory about the way things should work and the way things should be taught, and I think it's working, man. Look at my guys. My guys have been productive, and those are just the guys that you guys see at the competition level. There's still some beasts in the gym that I have yet to unleash. So, man, you know, I think that there's a reason behind the madness. There's a method behind the madness.
I think we got to team up and get this going, man.
Dude, you're going to come out, right? Are you coming out?
Bro, we got it I'm going to try to get out there within this year for sure.
All right, no. I'm not going to try. I'm going to make it happen. I will be out there this week. You got to change the way you project things. If you want success, you got to believe it's going to happen, man. I will be out there in 2013. It will happen within the next 6 months. I will see you here, and I'm going to show you some of those leg locks.
We are planning our trip right now, actually. We're looking at flights and stuff.
You guys can come out, man. I'd love to have you out, you know. You guys can film out here from Sacramento, you know. Come chill at the house, and you guys can meet my son and see the gym and see what's going down and see how I'm making it happen.
Sounds large.
Some American jiu-jitsu back to Canada.
That's right. That's right. Some American, Puerto Rican, putting my little island on the map too. You know, I just went back to Puerto Rico right now, man. I spent about a week and a half out there, visited a couple of gyms, and those people they love me out there. You know, like, you know, they give me a lot of love. You know, so I'm giving love back to them. You know, those guys over there at Sparta and those guys over there at the Wolfpack. You know, Bayamon, BJJ too. You guys are all my hearts, guys. I carry you guys with me, so you guys remember that.
I've seen some of your vlogs there on Facebook, and wow, it looks like you had a good time around.
Oh yeah, you guys got to see the footage and the blogs from Puerto Rico?
Yeah, I saw you on a boat too. That was cool.
Oh man, you know, like those Corona commercials, right? The Corona commercials where you're kind of looking upon the water and it's a crystalline beach. That was actually filmed in Puerto Rico.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, there's a beach out there called Palominitos, and this the water, man, is beautiful. It's crystalline. It's like you could see down like 8-10 meters down easy, and a bunch of wildlife, and the beaches are just absolutely amazing. It's like something on a postcard. It's incredible.
Did you ride a horse there?
I'm sorry?
Did you ride a horse there? by any chance?
I did, but years back. I did years back. Not this time, but years back.
Well, it
and I don't
changes
know why,
everything.
man. I suck at riding horses. I suck at that. I don't know what it is. I thought I would have picked it up pretty easy, but man, I suck miserably at riding horses.
You know why? It's because you get the seatbelt before the hooks. But with a horse, you got to get your hooks first.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Oh man, I don't think the horse was liking my hooks from the back. It was, it was just not. We were not flowing, man. We didn't have a good rhythm.
Oh man. Hey, so you know, some shout outs to people, how they could follow you on Twitter if they don't know yet. Also, your website, how they could get in touch with you, your sponsors. Now's your time to shout that out, Marcos.
Beautiful. Thanks, guys. Man, you guys can follow me at Marcos Yemaso on Twitter. Look my fan page up, or look me up. Look my personal page up on Facebook. My fan page is under Yemaso, or just me up on Facebook. Man, try to get at me. Send a like my way, or send a friend invite. Also on the website www.yemasobjj.com. You can always keep up with us on there. You know, we're doing a lot of really big things. You know, I post a lot of blogs, and I have a real good student that works on my marketing and stuff like that. He has a page as well. It's BJJ Grappling. If you guys can get on that as well, send him some love too as well. My sponsors, man, NHB Gear. Sam at NHB Gear has always been he's always been behind me, man. Always been in work. Gilberto at Pro Gear, Jiu-Jitsu Pro Gear. Both those guys have always been behind me, you know. And my team, man, these guys, look, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now if it wasn't for my team. You know, I can't train by myself. You guys know this. You're a product of your environment. You know, sure, I'm able to control a lot of those variables, but, you know, I wouldn't be able to do it just rolling with the dummy. So I'm very happy to be a part of where I'm at right now. And to everybody, man, fans and haters alike, man, just keep your eyes open because you're going to have a lot to talk about. 2013 is going to be a big year. I'm just going to be stealing it. It's going to be criminal. I'm going to be going to all these events, taking those goals from Carlinhos, and they're not going to be having shit to say about it. So I look forward to seeing you guys out there.
That's it. That's our goal for 2013 also, to up our haters.
Yes, and come out and see me, man. Come out and see me, please.
We're gonna make it happen there. So
I have a room here that you guys can crash in, man. I have a bed you guys can share and everything.
That's good because that's one of our problems. We couldn't find a room with only one bed.
They're like, yeah, we got a room for 2 beds for you. You're like, no, I just want one.
Yeah, exactly. And let's downsize from the king to the double, please.
Yeah. We'll sleep on the floor. We'll sleep on the couch with each other. We'll sleep on the couch. Don't worry about it.
Anybody listening right now, live, or they hear it after, there's still time. Let's get someone to sponsor this man so we can go to Houston and wreck shop. So anyone listening that can help out, make it happen. And let's get Marcos out there. Kill it this year. We're going to have to end this interview, but thanks once again. You are definitely one of the best people to talk to. You cut a great interview.
Guys, anytime, man. Anytime. I love chatting with you guys, man. Thank you very much for the support. You guys are always pushing my info and stuff out there. Thank you guys for the support, man. God bless both you guys. Again, I'm waiting for you guys out in Sacramento. Make it happen. Create the reality. Make it happen.
That's true. I like your words. Create the reality. That's what we're going to do, my friend.
It pumps me up.
All right, have a good night. And
read that book, that Mind Power book. I'm telling you, man. You read that stuff, you create create realities like positive energy in your head, man. And through affirmations, like telling yourself a million times in the mirror, or just repeating it a million times, you know, like verbally out loud. Things like that, man. They're very powerful. They're very powerful, very underutilized and underestimated tools. So you create that reality. All of a sudden, now you're pumped up. You know, now you want to make it happen. It's gonna happen. Believe it. It'll happen.
If I ever feel down or sad, I'll make sure to message you, and you know what to do. I think.
Yes, I'll bust your balls. Shoot me a ring, and I'll get you into shape.
All right, my friend. Thank you very much once again.
Beautiful, fellas. God bless. Have a good one.
Sam.
Thank you.
Take care, fellas.
Take care. You know what? Let's end it on that note. I have nothing else to say. That was awesome. Next week, Brendan Quick, leg lock expert. We'll find out how the hell he got this title, Howie's already on 2 DVDs. If there's more content up, his most important shit when it comes to leg locks. Test region. That's it.
All right, you know the drill. Hang tight.
Hang tight.